Hi there. In this video, we're going to show you how to install a glued down engineered hardwood floor. Now, this method can be used over concrete or, as we're going to do in this case, a suspended wooden floor.
Ready to get started? You'll need some specific tools for a glue down installation. Let's stay safe on the job, so make sure you have a certified dust mask, safety glasses, and earplugs for when you're cutting wood. Now for the installation tools, you'll need a tape measure, pencil and paper, utility knife, chalk line, a miter saw or circular saw for cutting to length, a table saw or saber saw for ripping to width, hammer and nails, pull bar, blue painter's tape, Armstrong Pro Connect glue or Bruce Everbond, and adhesive trowel.
Now there are 5 steps to a glue down installation. The first is getting ready, installing the first row, installing the rest of the floor, installing the final rows, and finishing up the job.
I'll take the first step, getting ready. This involves getting the wood ready and taking some measurements. If your wood has been stored in an area that's significantly warmer or colder than your home, you'll need to bring it inside and allow it to come to room temperature before you start. This minimizes any thermal growth or shrinkage. Next, you need to decide how to install your flooring. Running the planks parallel to the windows will accent the floor the best. It's your choice, but we recommend you run the planks perpendicular to the floor joists. This will give your floor greater stability. For this installation, we're running the planks along the longest wall of the room. Now, to determine how many planks we'll need, we need to measure the opposite direction, across the width. When you're measuring, make sure you subtract 1/4 inch for expansion for the first row and 1/4 inch for the last row. Now you take the width and divide it by the width of the board. You probably won't come out with an even board. If you have more than half a board, you'll be fine. You don't need to change anything. But if the numbers show you'll end up with a narrow piece for the last row, you'll need to do a little more math. Take the total, add it to the width of a plank, and then divide by 2. You'll then need to rip the boards for the row that goes along the wall. One thing to be aware of, if you're installing your floor in an older home, say 60 years or older, measure very carefully. The walls may not be parallel or straight. Okay, those are all the preliminary steps. You're ready to start installing your floor. Installing the first row correctly is the key here. You'll need a tape measure, chalk line, a hammer, and some nails.
Right, now you want to get a tight installation, so we recommend using a starter board that's going to hold your first row in place. In order to figure out where to install this starter board, you're going to measure the first 6 rows if you're using 3-inch product, or the first 3 rows if you're using 5-inch product. Then subtract the length of the tongue and strike a chalk line. Now you take a 1x2 board or another narrow board that's sturdy and align its back side with the chalk line, like Audrey's doing here. Then drive a couple of nails in to hold it in place. But don't drive the nails in completely because you're going to need to remove them later. Next step, spreading the adhesive. Here's a tip. Put some tape on your trowel so it'll be easier to clean later.
Before you spread the adhesive, you need to decide how large an area you're going to cover. A cool trick is to strike a chalk line every 4 to 5 rows. This will give you a manageable area to spread.
You want to apply the adhesive in even strokes. Now the key here to keep in mind is that you don't want to apply more than you can reach across.
Oops. And you want to keep the adhesive off your starter board. Otherwise you mess up your edge.
That's true. Now, once you've applied the adhesive for this row, it's time to install the boards.
Okay, I'm going to start from the left and place the board so the tongue is facing the starter board. Now for wider width boards, I'm also going to use a bead of glue along the groove. Then just continue laying the boards in until you get to the end. You want to make sure the ends fit together snugly and be sure to allow space for expansion at the beginning of the row and the end of the row.
Now you don't need me to tell you that this adhesive is strong stuff, so you need to make sure that you clean up any adhesive that gets on the wood right away. Trust me, it's going to save you a lot of time and effort later on. Here we go.
Well, one down and several to go. Let's get to it.
Okay.
To begin the second row, select a board that is cut from the first row or is 6 inches long and does not align with the end joint in the first row. As you go, you may need to tap the boards together to assure a tight fit. And if you have a board that has a little bow, don't worry. You can tighten the gap by using painter's tape to hold the boards together while the adhesive dries.
You'll probably need to cut the last board in your row in order to make it fit. As long as the leftover board is longer than 6 inches, use it to start your next row.
Now you'll just repeat this process for the rest of the floor. And make sure you maintain that 6-inch spacing between end joints for the best appearance.
As you're moving along, make sure you pay special attention to the ends of the boards. You want to get them in nice and snug, so simply use a pull bar to get them in tight. Last row. Now at the last row, we had to rip the boards lengthwise in order to get the right width, and chances are you're going to have to do that too.
Once you have that done, spread the adhesive and install the boards.
Again, a pull bar can come in handy here. I know we keep repeating this, but it is very important. You want to make sure you get these boards tight. Okay, we're almost done, but not quite there yet. Now that we've got the last row installed, we've got to go back and remove the starter boards and replace them with the real boards. Next, we'll apply the adhesive. Then, we'll set the boards next to the first row we installed and tug them into place using a pull bar. Audrey will continue to lay in the boards until she's done with all of the rows.
Okay, we're into the home stretch. Leave your floor to set overnight before moving any furniture onto it. You want to give the adhesive a chance to bond well.
Now, if you've left some tape on the floor, you'll want to get that up within 24 hours. And if there's glue on the floor, you can simply remove that with some warm water and a rag or Armstrong adhesive remover.
And then once you've done that, you're ready to reinstall the trim and clean up.
If you want to learn more about trim, cleanup, or any of the other installation methods, go to any of the other videos in our web series.
And enjoy your new floor.